Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the UWN United Wrestling Network review for the 6th of October 2020. This is the weakest show they've done thus far. Those are bound to happen upon occasion. However, still, this is better than a lot of what your national companies put out in terms of actual wrestling quality and quality of matches. They lack in stories, and many of the talents aren't fully ready, but I encourage you, if you care about the history of the future of the sport and the history of the sport for that matter, to check this product out. They're weekly. Um, I think it's $10 price tag. You spend more than that on two Starbucks. Come on now. Anyway, they start with a promo montage and they interview the wrestlers that are going to be part of things. We open with Levi Shapiro with Howdy Price defeating Brian Idol. Idol starts the match pretty quick, and that leaves Shapiro on defense. Idol nails a series of takeovers, then a sling blade. Idol hits a dive to the outside, but Shapiro gets up and hits a shot to the throat. Idol brought Shapiro in the hard way and hit a butterfly suplex that was very nicely done. Shapiro gets heat for a little while, uses chokes and other things. Manager interferes and attacks Idol. Shapiro hits the Bulldog off the middle ropes. For a near fall, Shapiro hits Power Slam and then goes for a claw. Idol is on the outside for a bit. Idol hits a flatliner coming into the ring, and then he hits a super kick and a springboard moonsault. The manager throws his boot into the ring to distract the referee. As the ref turns away, Shapiro loads his glove, nails Idol for a pinfall. Not a bad opening match. Both guys look good and could be doing something interesting. Next up, the FSW Nevada Ladies Champion Lacey Ryans defeated Vipress. Vipress is a cool character for this time of year. Kind of got that gothic Halloween vibe going on. Vipress with power moves early, hit some suplexes. And the video feed does cut out in the middle of the match for a few seconds, and both women are exchanging strikes in the middle. When they come back, Ryan hits a clothesline, and then some kicks. Vipress hits a German suplex. Ryan doesn't sell, hits a half Nelson suplex of her own, hits a running knee on Vipress for a near fall. Ryan goes for 450 splash. Why does this need to be in the middle of a match? Vipress moved and locked on a rear naked choke, and Ryan floats backwards into a pinfall. Vipress kicks out. Vipress manages to go behind her again with a sleeper. Ryan hits a V trigger and a knee exploder for a pinfall victory. Not a bad match, but selling is something both of these ladies need to work on. I like the Vipress gimmick. Would like to see more done with her, but they both need more seasoning and time in front of a camera. Then we have 4 Minutes of Heat, interesting team name. Ricky Gibson and Eddie Pearl defeating Beef Candy, Ricky Mantel, and Richie Slade with Flex. I like the fact that this promotion tries to use managers on a regular basis. Pearl has a mullet that's easy to notice. And then they go to the outside. The manager throws candy at Gibson to distract him. Slade and Mantel distract and beat up Gibson for a while. The manager gets cheap shots. In a bit, Beef Candy hits a backslide and an Alabama Jam. Pretty cool move there. Gibson manages to tag out. Pearl goes nuts, catches Slade on the middle ropes, and sends his feet into his own partner's groin. Gibson comes back, and Gibson comes in. 4 Minutes of Heat hit the power ballad for the win. Not a bad match, little fun. They need some more grounding and being in front of a camera. Both teams do. but it is what it is. Chris Dickinson defeated Max Caster next. Caster does a rap that's better than anything John Cena ever did. Super entertaining guy. I think they could bring him into a national company and have him do something. I think he's been on Dark before, but I think having him actually do something with the rap gimmick could be cool. Dickinson goes for Death Valley Driver right away. Caster fights out, and Dickinson hits a back suplex and a half crab. Caster keeps fighting back, comes back with a flying elbow for a 2 count. Dickinson cuts him off, hits a superplex, and then hits the Death Valley Driver for the pinfall. Dickinson is a super talented guy. I'd even be in favor of him, maybe. Well, I wouldn't say beating Nick Aldis. Aldis is a guy who they've built around for the last couple of years. I think whoever beats him should be a big deal when the NWA title gets dropped. But a secondary belt for Dickinson, no problem. Strikes me as odd that he hasn't been picked up by a national company with all the companies that are out there. Maybe that'll happen for him after the pandemic. Who knows? And then the Wolf, Zandies, Shea Cabrera, and Bad Dude Tio defeats the Bodega and Danny Limelight, and Tio starts the match with the dude known as Fat Boy. Big guys are fighting each other. Pace of the match is reasonably good speed when Cabrera and Limelight get in. Limelight's been on the show. I think he was the opening match of the first week, if I remember correctly. But I know he's been on the show at least once or twice before. Hits a nice float over into a headlock. Fat Boy launches Limelight across the ring. Fat Boy ends up distracting the ref. Zandies hit a series of powerful double team moves on Limelight, and that turns their fortunes around. Limelight dodges a corner charge, walks across the middle rope, and hits a springboard clothesline on Tito, and Arana tags out, and Limelight kicks on Cabrera while Fat Boy hits Power Slam. Cabrera rolls to the outside. Limelight hits a corkscrew dive to the floor. Tito catches a second dive, and they get back in the ring. They hit a spine buster before calling Limelight into the zatification for the pinfall victory. Main event time. I love the pacing of this show. Nothing feels like it ever goes terribly long, and every match feels like it's fresh and something different. Anyway, the Pope and Watts defeated NWA TV champ Ziggy Dice and Effie. Effie starts the match with Watts. Mentions attacking his man. Watts did not like the fact that he was attacked. He overpowers. Watts gets his eyes raked. T tags out to Dice. Dice and Effie proceed to go get the heat through chokes and other cheap shots. They manage to keep Watts in the corner. Dice tries to slam Watts. That doesn't go very well for him. Watts slams Dice. Tags out to Pope. Pope goes nuts. Hits a kick to Dice and an inverted atomic drop and a running mafia kick on Effie. Effie dropped Pope on the ropes, neck first, and Dice fish hooked him and choked him in the middle on the middle rope. Pope tries to make a comeback, but Effie drops him with a huge clothesline, and the heat on Pope continues. Pope manages to tag out. Watts hits a big choke slam on Effie, and Watts and Dice hit a double doomsday device. Pope isn't the legal man. Watts comes back. Dice distracts him, and Effie takes over. Takes out Watts' knee. Effie works over the knee and tags out to Dice. double suplex on Watts for near fall. Dice hits a shake, rattle, and roll on Watts, and he climbs to the top rope. He goes for an axe handle, and Watts gets his foot up, tags out to Pope. Pope hits a flying forearm on Effie and a series of Dusty Rhodes bionic elbows on Dice and Effie. Pope then invited fans at home to clap before hitting a crossbody for near fall. Dice dumps Watts to the floor and held Pope. Pope ducks. Effie nails Dice by accident. Pope then hits the Elijah experience on Effie for the win. Dice attacks Pope after the bell. Watts chases him off. I would have rather have seen Pope in a singles match here. I think Watts does better in smaller doses and shorter matches. Pope cuts a promo saying they needed each other so they could both make money in 2020. Pope said he's going to try and take the NWA television title from Dice because he's standing up for tradition. Overall, that's the show. Worst of the, 3 or 4 so far, but at the same time, like I said, better than a lot of the national products out there. Anyway, we'll be back with Impact. We'll be back with AEW Dark and at least another couple months of the World Class Series as well. So lots of new content for you. Stay tuned.